All right, so when you start to draw your Build-A-Burger project in Inventor, you should all be familiar with how to open it up. To start, I'm just going to create a new piece. Make sure you select English template. We're not in the metric world yet, and a standard Inventor part. Again, this is an inch Inventor part. When you double-click on it, give it some time to load. Again, depending if you've been at a computer or not, it'll go faster, maybe slower. When it does load, we're going to get into 2D World by going up to Create 2D Sketch and selecting the XY plane to draw on. Following that, obviously you got to start on the bottom. You're going to start with a bun. The size of your bun depends on the size of your burger that you want. I believe in the plan sheet that I gave you this suggesting around 4 inches. Again, your choice. I'm going to start with a circle, and I will dimension that circle to 4 inches. So I'm going to have a 4-inch bottom layer. I'm going to finish that sketch and extrude that sketch. My bottom patty is going, or my bottom bun rather, I'm going to make 3/4 of an inch. That looks a little bit too much. I'm going to try a 1/2 of an inch. So I've got this round disc shape. I'm going to fillet the edge of my burger bun. We'll put maybe, we'll see what a 0.25 looks like. That looks pretty good. I'm going to change the color. So when I change the color, again on the browser bar on the left hand side, I select what part I want to change. And then I'll go out to my color palette and find a color that looks good. Gold I think looks okay. It might be a little bit dark. I can change it later on if I need to. Gold is my default color for now. So I changed the fillet color and I changed the extrusion color. Now, the bun part, or the patty parts, I put the meat right on top of the bun. You can choose your layers however you'd like. I'm going to create a 2D sketch, and again, this is just layering. We're not creating individual parts. It's just going to be separate layers. I'm going to create another circle. So far, nothing too drastic. I'm going to find the center of my bun, and now I'm going to make my patty. Now, my burgers, I like a beefy burger, if you couldn't tell already. I'm going to dimension my burger so that it's a little bit bigger than my bun. So I'm going to make a 4.5-inch patty, which is a fairly good size. I will finish my sketch, and I'm going to extrude. Now when I extrude, I'm going to have to select this outer ring and the inner ring, and I'm going to put a little bit more meat on my burger. I'll give it a green check mark. I'm going to then fillet both of the edges because I feel that when I make my patty, it should be a little more round. I'm not going to fillet it quite that much. Maybe I'll fillet it a maybe a 125. We'll look at it. I don't feel like that's enough. So maybe like a 225. If Inventor gives you a little warning triangle, that means you have too much fillet. So that's going to be my meat. Now the meat, extrusion 2. The color that we use that looks like grilled meat is called dirt. Dirt dark brown happens to look a lot like grilled meat. So we'll go with dirt dark brown for your patties. It looks kind of like a burger. Even though it's called dirt color, it looks very meat-like. On top of my meat, I'm going to create a 2D sketch. What goes on top of meat? How about some cheese? I'm going to put my cheese. My cheese is going to be rectangular in shape. Now I'm going to pick a different style of rectangle. The one we've normally been using is the 2-point rectangle. I'm going to go down to the 2-point, but the center one. So that means I locate the center of the rectangle first so that all my toppings are kind of centered on each other. So I'm going to click the 2-point center rectangle, and I'm going to start in the middle. And I'm going to go up and out. Right click and OK. So now I've got my cheese. Now, cheese you can kind of eyeball. This isn't something you necessarily have to dimension. If you'd like to, you can definitely dimension each side of your cheese if you want it to be perfect. I will dimension each side of my cheese to, I don't know, 3.5 inches or so. That looks okay. I'm going to draw some circles on my cheese. Maybe I have a Swiss. I mean, if you want a cheddar or an American, by all means, leave it square. But if I wanted to do a Swiss, I'm just going to put a couple circles on here. And then I'm going to use my trim tool to make those circles, or cut out those circles out of my cheese square. So again, I selected my trim tool, and now I am trimming out these portions of the cheese slice. I will go to finish sketch, and I will extrude my slice of cheese. Probably not that thick, so I'm going to downgrade it to maybe an eighth. That's a little more than an eighth there. We will try putting a decimal point in front of there. All right, that looks like a nice hearty slice of cheese. So looking at it, home view, I don't want to see the bottom bun. We'll rotate it around. My cheese looks a little bit wimpy, but it'll work. You can modify accordingly. Again, extrusion 3, I'm going to change my cheese color. Probably maybe a fine cream. I don't know if I like that one. If I could find just a regular white, that would be a lot better. Browse around, find some colors. You might have to experiment with a few different colors. Maybe just a smooth yellow. Maybe I have a yellow Swiss. I'm not sure. We'll leave it at that. Now on top of that, again, if we looked at our minimum requirements, the minimum requirements for your burger included bun, meat, cheese, ketchup, or mustard. I understand it says catsup. That is definitely another spelling. This is not something that I produced. It's something that I found. So I'm going to work on my ketchup and mustard here. Again, create a 2D sketch. I'm going to put it on top of the cheese. So again, another layer. Ketchup. Now, what shape is ketchup? What does it look like? It's typically just kind of like a blob. So the tool that I'm going to use here for that is spline. I'm just going to click on the spline tool, and I'm going to start placing points, just picking spots, being careful that I don't select the green check mark until the end. So I got kind of that blob looking shape there. I will finish my sketch. I'm going to extrude my ketchup. Now, ketchup shouldn't be that thick, although I've seen some of you eat lunch and you probably put your ketchup on 1/8 of an inch thick. We'll probably downgrade our ketchup just to like a 0.01, just kind of so it has the color. We don't necessarily need the thickness of it. One thing we should probably select the holes in my cheese, because my ketchup probably doesn't have holes in it, although it would fall in there. But so we'll check it. So now that blob is my ketchup. Again, I'm going to select extrusion 4, go up, and I'm going to probably find a red color, maybe a light red. Does that look like ketchup? It kind of looks like ketchup. So now I've got ketchup on it. Now from here, you could add certain things if you want to put lettuce on there. If you want to put your tomatoes, more cheese, another patty, an egg, onion rings, whatever. Put it on top at this point. And again, you would just keep creating a 2D sketch and keep creating layers all the way up. I'm going to go up to create 2D sketch. I'm going to put my final layer on, which happens to be my top bun. Alright, so my top bun, I'm going to dimension my top bun. I'm going to keep it the same size as my bottom bun. I believe my bottom bun was 4 inches. I will finish sketch. I'm going to extrude my top bun. Now the top bun to me always seems like it's a little bit thicker. There's always more bun on the top. So I'm going to extrude that to a 0.75. It might look funny to start, a green check mark. I'm going to fillet the top. We're going to put a pretty aggressive fillet on here. The higher the fillet here is going to make it look more like a bun. So you can see how it's a little more round. And actually, I don't know if that's big enough of a top bun. If you just look at it, it looks kind of small. So you can go back if you want and change that. If I find extrusion 5, I'll right click on it, edit sketch while I'm in 3D World. And I'll just go change that dimension. Maybe I'll make it a 4.25. I'll make it just a 1/4 inch bigger. And finish my sketch. I made my bun a little bigger. It looks a little more proportional now. Looks a little more proper. I'll find that extrusion. We'll change it to bun color, which I think I used gold in this case. If you find another color, please feel free to use it. That fillet I will change to gold. Probably not foil, just regular gold. And so far I've got a burger. All right, it's coming along. It could use a little bit more panache, a little more pizzazz. I've got a pretty beefy patty in there. Maybe I decide, hey, that's too much meat in this burger. I would go back and find which extrusion that was. This one is extrusion 2. I will right click edit feature, and I will downsize that. Maybe I'll go to a 0.5 extrusion. And now I've got a little bit skinnier patty, so now I've got my quarter pounder with cheese instead of the full size. I might experiment a little bit with fillets around the bottom side of my bun. Probably not that aggressive, maybe just a 0.1. That looks kind of funny. I might undo that. Control Z will undo it. You've got a simple burger. Maybe a little more fillet on top. Again, right click on that fillet, edit, not show dimensions so much. Edit the feature. You can change this fillet to be a little bit more aggressive so that it rounds the top of your bun a little bit more. Now, on top of a bun, if you want to get very, very creative, little sesame seeds or something, that might look cool. Those take some time to draw. If you want to do that, by all means, go for it. I can help you later on. But this then would be the basic requirements for the Build-A-Burger project.